Thans had to take time off due to a death in the family. Therese later suspected Than had arranged it all so that they could meet. In the flesh, that is. They had already met when she was in a coma after her parents were killed by one of McAdam's Taliban spies. She had followed her parents to the underworld, but had assumed it was a dream, and, as she had always been a lucid dreamer and able to manipulate the events of her dreams, she had been especially bossy and flirtatious with the god of death, and with his brother, the god of sleep. She couldn't have known then that it had all been real, and that the god of death, unused to receiving affection, would fall in love with her and follow her back to the world of the living. But she was glad, more than glad. She was absolutely thrilled. And now he had finally come back for her. But what would she tell Pete? She could see the pain in Pete's face despite his forced smile. "Are we still on for the movies tonight?" Pete asked. Therese could feel the blood leave her face as Than studied it. Surely he, a god, had been aware of her slightly more than friend's relationship with Pete. I'm not sure, Pete. Can I give you a call?" Jen stepped up beside Pete with her arms folded across her chest. "Hey, Than, what's up?" "Hey, Jen, it's good to see you." Jen, who like all the people in Therese's life had remained ignorant of Than's true identity, was pretty steamed that Than hadn't called or written for 10 months. Therese also knew Jen wouldn't be too happy that Therese would drop Pete for Than. "It's been a while," Jen said. "I thought maybe, I don't know, that you'd fallen off the face of the earth." "Not exactly," Than said. "You might have called," Jen said accusingly. "It's, complicated." "Yeah, right. They don't have phones down south in Texas." "Jen," Therese said sharply, "give it a rest." "We're still going to the movies tonight," Jen insisted. "You and me and Pete and Matthew. I already paid for the tickets online and the movie's sold out." "Take Bobby," Therese said. Pete clenched his jaw. "Come on, Jen. We've got work to do." Pete walked away, and when he was out of sight, Jen, who stood there with her arms crossed, said between gritted teeth, "Don't you dare hurt my brother. Our family has been through enough lately. You should know." Jen referred to the return of her father after 3 years of estrangement. Therese didn't know the details, but apparently Mr. Holt had hurt Jen in unmentionable ways while drunk, and after years of therapy and being sober, had returned for a second chance. Therese had loaned Jen her invisibility crown, a gift from Artemis, so she could disappear if her father ever fell off the wagon. But Jen had no idea how the crown worked or how it came to be in Therese's possession. In fact, it was the existence of the crown from Artemis, the locket from Athena, and the traveling robe and gown from Aphrodite that had always assured Therese when she was feeling low that the events of last summer hadn't been imaginary. Before Therese could reply, Than's sister Meg, one of the Furies, appeared beside Jen. She too had her arms crossed, and her blonde hair, blonder and longer than Jen's and curly where Jen's was straight, blew about her face like a gilded sunburst. "This is wrong, Than," she roared. Her face was pale and her lips bright red, like fresh blood. "You're screwing with the lives of mortals, not to mention the lives of gods." Jen's mouth dropped open. "What is she talking about, Therese?" Therese felt her face go white. Why would Meg expose their identity to Jen? "Back off, Meg," Than shouted. "This is none of your business." "Of course it is, dear brother. We are all in danger after the oath we took on the river Styx at Ares' command. Do you wish us all to be ripped apart by the Maenads?" Therese cringed at the memory of Mount Olympus. Therese had broken her deal with the Olympians by refusing to kill McAdams, which would avenge the death of her parents. You couldn't refuse the gods and not face consequences, she supposed. But Meg's words confused Therese. The Maenads, women drunk with the wine of Dionysus, could only rip apart someone who dared rescue Therese from the dead. That's not what Than was doing. What was he doing, anyway? Now Tizzy, another of the 3 Furies, stood beside her sister with her hands on her hips. Her dark, serpentine curls hung loose about her shoulders.